in your mind, in your mind, in your mind, in your mind.
Well, what can I say? Another Wednesday, Wednesday the 24th September. We're going to say many thanks going out to Jock Rising for the past 3 years. Absolutely splendid music. And as you know, on a Wednesday from the hours of 6 till 9 p.m, the More Knowledge Show with myself, the Original Supreme. And this evening I do have some special guests coming in the studio. And later on in the show we should be hopefully be linking up with Astro Quasi in America. He'll be here on tour from the 4th of October, doing his Reclaiming the African Knowledge to Reclaim African Self, a very interesting tour arranged by the Pan-African Congress Movement. Our next guest in the studio, well, he's not a special guest as such, you know. In fact, he's not even a guest, is he, Professor? He's a friend, you know. And when he came on Concious last time, radio, he actually... you know when you have a plane and you have turbulence.
Hold on. Supreme.
Man, bring turbulence.
Hold on. I gotta tell you something, right? I'm gonna expose him now.
Yes.
The last time we see him, right, the man turned up in a limousine. In a limousine, right? Don't forget, right, the man was homeless a few years ago. Right? He turned up in a limousine. I said, Bishop, where I go? He said, boy, I'm there for a ride, no, you know. We're there for a limousine, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, no surprise me, no. When we leave from here, right, a limousine gonna wait for him out there. Well, and this time next year, helicopter.
Yeah. Well, I call him turbulence, you know. Because the last time he come on the radio, man ring up and say, oh, where's that brother? I need to talk to him. I say, he's gone. He's left us with the turbulence. So I can say, Brother Jammers, I can say greetings to you, Brother Jammers. Once again, could you just touch on who you are and what you do and what you've done?
Well, I don't really want to say anything because I'm under surveillance at the moment. Do I have to? Yeah, my name is Jammers, and I DJ. Also, I had an experience which enabled me to look at the language in a different way, in a different light. It's opened my eyes to there's more to this than meets the eye when it comes to language. And there's hidden codes, and what it is, it came to notes, and notes came to writing a book, and with the help of Find Your Voice, now it's becoming vocal, and I'm spreading out the message about the language system.
No.
Greetings, Conscious Radio.
Yeah, you know
Supreme.
something. Yeah. I was listening to you and Brother Dougie talk on a show. And I do believe you found your rites of passage in your car, or was it you?
So, you know how much, Doug remembers how much somebody wanted to buy the car off of me, you know? I'm going to have to go and look for that. There's a van, I have to go and look for that van again.
Explain to our listeners what actually happened to you.
Boy, you know, I'm trying to raise up my profile with limousine, and you lot keep bringing me back. And he's got a show with relationships with women going to be there. I'm going to have to tell you about my ex.
Yeah. Well, I was quite amazed because we'll go through challenges, right? And what happened when you had your challenge? You actually rose above your challenge. And your challenge made you think, you know. And I said to myself, boy, the man good, you know, because if it was me. It was me. Just explain to the listeners what you actually went through, your tribulation.
I found myself in a situation where I was living in a car for a short space of time. Yeah. I calculated that for 2 years, but actually 3 years. Living in a car.
So you was living in a car for 3 years?
Well, a van. I'm exaggerating. It wasn't a car, it was a van. And it came to a point when I couldn't work out whether I should buy some bread or some cheese. So I was trying to work out what was the best move to make.
Yeah.
And then it just came to me, how come there's so much negativity in the world? How do we fight this?
Yeah.
And then I just started to look into myself. What is this all about? Who am I? Where am I? What is it all about? And I started to look. I had to try to find out what is this all about. And I started to look into myself where I said, well, I'm a human. What is a human? It's molecules, protons, neutrons. Yeah. What's that? What do they do? they revolve. Then I say, well, what does revolve mean? And then I say, oh, well, it starts with re. And then it hit me that re means to go back. Like remember, recall, return. I said, 1 minute. They never taught me that at school, you know. And then volve means to turn. So atoms, molecules, they revolve. That means they turn back.
Yeah.
They turn back. So I said, 1 minute. So look, and then I looked at if you look at a car wheel and actually watch the car wheel, when you see the car going forward, you'll actually see that the wheel's going backwards.
Yeah.
So that message said to me, you've got to go back to go forward.
Yeah.
If you look at a car wheel that's going forward, the car is actually going in reverse.
Okay.
So then it hit me that 1 minute, technology is actually taking your knowledge away. Because before we used to be able to get to Brixton. Now we have to use a stat nav.
Yeah.
Before we could use our memory, now we've got to use a computer.
Yeah.
So then they said, 1 minute, forward and backward. What is a ward? A ward is somewhere where somebody is kept when they're sick. So it's better you move back away from the ward instead of going for the ward.
Do you think that the reason why you decoded and went into the language is because you never had no distractions and it was just you in the car? Because when you look at it, is boy, you're looking at your surroundings, and obviously I don't know if you had any blinds and all that.
Well, I think at that particular point, there was nothing outwardly to think about that could save me, you know, or to get myself out of the situation. There's nothing out, nobody I could call for help, or no book to read, or no prophet to see, or no computer or internet to get me out. So I had to I just went right in to find out the core, what is the actual core of everything, you know. And then I said, 1 minute, I'm sitting in a car. We come from a hot place, we're living in a cold place. So when we're actually taking clothes off, they're putting clothes on. So what might be good for them is not necessarily good for us. You know. And then I started to play with the sound, look at the sound. So to look at the sounds backwards, because what they say is all right for them, not us. So then I said, well, tip is TIP, that means the top of something. Reverse that, you got PIT, which is the opposite, down. The tip is the top, pit is under. Then bus, if you can bus out, or a girl's got a bus, or a bus goes over, this is BUS, turn it the other way, reverse the sound, and you got sub, which is under. And that just set my mind on my mind just started to go into like looking at all the words, and I started looking at the letters, and then I could see a word is made up of sounds. So then I started to see that there's different sounds that make up one word. And if you look at every sound, because re means to go back. So RE means to go back. You reverse that and you've got ER. That means to go forward. Like runner is the one who carries out the action. Jumper is the one that carries out the action of jumping. Rerun means to go back. Jumper, runner means to go forward. So my mind just started to go into that. And another thing is living in a car as well. You start to realize that you ain't got no friends, you ain't got no help, but there's something that kicks in. Like if you just all of a sudden find yourself in the middle of a desert, you'll find out you ain't got no book, not even the Bible or Quran can save you in a desert when you got, when you got snakes and you're not no food. You'll find out there's something in you. You got a survival instinct that will find a way of doing. Would start to tell you something. That you start to hear things you never heard before. You start to see things you never heard, and then your senses will become heightened. So being in that car away from the TV and the internet, I think I form a relationship with my higher self, and that's your best friend. Because when you're on your deathbed, there's nobody else there except the thing that's giving you breath and controlling your heartbeat. You know, so we've all got that inner self in us, but we don't have a relationship with it. So
okay, so now you've taken what you've learnt from yourself and you've put it in the form of a book.
And one more thing is that learning is a separation. You sit in a class and you've got a teacher there telling you something, or you've got to pick up a book and read. You know, when you're on a survival thing, it becomes part of you. Like my only way out of this situation is what the thoughts and the words, because I thought there's something in the words that I've never seen before. So that it didn't become something I had to do; it became me. I became words, like, you know, it became, so it's identification. If you're into doing anything like football or something, you have to live it. It has to be a part of you.
Yeah.
You know, and that, from that,
live it, breathe it.
Live it, breathe it. And from that, it just went into some high speed learning from there.
Okay.
High speed, yeah. Because every word I had to decipher. I was looking at every word, turn it back to front. And what I found out as well is that in Egypt, or in Kemetic, forget about Egypt, it's not called Egypt, it's called Hikupatar. Hikupatar, that's the original name, which the Greeks called Egyptos, which became Egypt, but it's Hikupatar. In that ancient Kemet language, if you check our hieroglyphics, they used to write from right to left, from left to right, from up, down, and down, up. This means they had multi-dimensional thinking.
Oh,
they thinking all the ways, like picking up a Rubik's cube. When they see a word, their mind is moving like 360 degrees and faster to analyze everything. And writing in pictures, if you're looking at a picture, there's so much different dimensions into working out what really happened in the picture. Because you can see someone lifting up their hand to hit someone, but what's the reasoning behind that? Did that person cause something to happen, or are they the victim of something? So that multi-dimensional thinking is when you use more of your brain capacity than what they show us, like what Michael was telling us.
Yeah.
The society here shows us to look at things like when you're in school, and when we're in school, what do they call you when you're in school?
What, child? Tutor?
No, what does the teacher call you?
Student. Well,
no, he calls you something else as well.
Well,
a pupil.
Pupil.
When you are in school, your teacher will call you a pupil. I'll say it 3 times. Listen to this. When you're in school, your teacher will call you a pupil. A pupil. A pupil. What is a pupil? A pupil is one eye.
Yeah.
One eye. You're showed how to read one way. Remember I said Egypt or Kemetic, you learn multi-dimensional. You're shown how to read one way. And it's opposite to the way that we was originally taught anyway. So you're taught to read one way opposite.
Yeah.
So you're taught to be looking backwards. So you're taught to read one way and have one viewpoint, and look at the word pupil carefully. P-U-P-I-L. Yeah. It's no coincidence. Write down P-U-P-I-L. Turn it backwards and see what it says. Everybody talks about television. Look at pupil. Look at pupil backwards is L-I-P, which is
lip.
U-P, which is
Lip.
U-P, up.
So
pupil backwards means lip up. You're taught to look at something and keep your lip up, the stiff upper lip. Because when you see things one way, as a pupil, you don't question. You think in one direction. So you do what you're told to do. Look at the word told. You get which is T-O-L-D.
Yeah.
You get D-O-L-T, which means dolt, which is a fool.
Yeah. You're going to start calling turbulence again on the radio.
So it's by design.
You're not leaving today, you know.
But I heard it, but I'm lucky to get away with my life last time. If that caller calls up, I'm missing. So as exactly what Michael has said, this is a predetermined plan. Net, planet. A net is something that you catch something in.
Yeah.
Internet. Net is something that you catch something in. What is net backwards? You got the word 10. Yeah. 10 in Latin, tenor, means to hold. Tenuto means a note that is held. Where is everything kept in London? Number 10 Downing Street.
Professor is Professor. You bring turbulence on again. But I don't even know what to say, brother Jammers.
Basically, everything is a predetermined plan. Oh, I forgot one more thing. Let me get this right. Also, in Roman numerals, 10 is a mark of an X. It's a mark.
Just X on its own.
X on its own in Roman numerals means 10.
Yeah.
And when you get a mark in school with a cross on it, that means you got it wrong.
Yeah.
Because your mind's been held as a pupil to only think one way. So you don't ask enough questions because we've got two eyes. So we're supposed to see things two ways in a balance. Anyway.
Okay. You know, I was talking to Brother Michael earlier, and I mentioned that the youngsters have a lot of distractions, and then you brought your book over and you brought over part of your book. Could you just touch on that? Because I said that the youngsters are very much distracted. But even saying that, I could say the elders are distracted. Because, you know, going back, Brother Dougie mentioned something, and I have never been, well, I shouldn't lie. I have been in a betting shop. But them betting shops back in the day is different than that. Betting shop have coffee, tea, air conditioning. To some people, maybe the betting shop is their home. You know, they actually probably designed it that, hey, you know what? You got paid today. You're not going home. You're going to spend your money here. Have another cup of tea. Put another bet on. Have a coffee. You want a biscuit with that? Yeah, put another bet on. And send you home. Well, if you got a home, you know. But go ahead, brother.
And even if you look at some of them betting shops, it's a warning sign. Lad Brooks, lad broke. That should have been a message in itself.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about distractions.
Well, what it is basically anyway, there is no elders to follow.
Yeah.
The family system has been designed to be broken up.
Yeah.
The women are given the money by the government, and the men are kept away from the women.
Yeah.
And so they can give us their role models like everybody with a gun is a role model to our youngsters nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So they've taken away the man out of the relationship and given us their version of a man, like Superman, Spider-Man, Rambo.
Yeah.
Anybody with a gun is the superhero for our son. Or our youth, but take away the TH and you see our you.
Even to some people, their dad might be Puff Daddy. You know,
yeah, that's right.
The role model for them.
So when they real and they see Puff Daddy more than their real dad. So when their real dad comes around, they look at who are you? You don't meet the requirements.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. Yeah. And I'll just give you some of them. I've got a page in the book called Weapons of Mass Instruction.
Instruction.
Yeah. So they're taking away the father figure and they're giving us instructions from the newspapers. You know, but newspapers, we knew it already, so we shouldn't read about it because what's new to them, we already knew it. Anyway, magazines, television, films, celebrity lifestyles, internet, fashion, reality shows, and music. No mention of anything about God in that one. Then they give you stories to make you believe in fantasy. When you believe in fantasy, then you start to believe in lies. Then they give you lies until you start to think it's the truth. So when the truth comes about, you think it's a lie.
Right. Yeah.
The TV programs them what to do, and TV shows, as in TV shows, them models to follow. Script writers tell them what to say, and the actors show them what roles to play. Why bother with reality when you can watch reality on reality TV?
That's true.
Doug, you want to
and you know something? You've just reached a sore point with me, because there's some people, right? And I've got to say to the women, it's not I'm trying to... But you try ringing some women when EastEnders, Coronation Street, or any reality program is on, it's like, what do you want? They actually get angry. And say, you're disturbing me. Right? But I want to chat sense. But you said, no, at the moment, I've got to find out what Phil and Grant is up to. I've got to see the Big Brother house.
That's right, yeah.
You got to see the foolishness. To edify yourself. And then then when you ring them and say, I'm going to bed, don't talk to me, I'm going to bed now. But it just goes to show, as you said, I've got to queue up for this. I've got to buy it. And I thought, this is what you're doing with what we call your disposable income, your spare cash, your money that you could be doing something sensibly. You're now going to have a game and program yourself to kill. Yeah. Luckily, he's not a killer in real life, but it goes to show you that, you know, and I'm going to say this, as it's coming up to this period, we're going to be coming in November, December, we're coming into the period of Christmas, where they're going to be pushing the game industry. The gaming industry is going to be pushing these games, and they're going to give you a game that's going to be badder and worse than the last game. Why? Because it's Christmas, and your son has to have the best game that's going on at the moment. It's what do they do? Just like the iPhone 6 that I've seen somebody with, right? It what do they call this thing? You build up the hype. That when I saw a picture, it's so funny. I saw a picture of Regent Street and the people that were queuing for the iPhone 6, and I said, but what is it about that you have to have it on that day, that you couldn't wait the next day or the next month? But it's just like they've got us programmed to say you got a must-have culture. Your youth, your youngster has to have the latest murder game. That's how I look at it. You know, you have to start watching these. And I remember when my daughter was growing up, they had this Harry Potter. Introducing you to witchcraft subliminally, like you got to get Harry Potter video. Let me see if this is another big up for Redman. We've got a message here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. This is from 078. It says, "Greetings, brother. The opposite of a good job is." Okay, I can't read that. Hotep is BOJ. What does that mean? Bodge.
Yeah, but is opposite of a good job is a
bodge. Yeah. I don't know if I could get the live link working. I would ask them.
Well, I can break down the word opposite.
Yeah.
I can't read the rest of it. If something they see things when they see things that are not like them, the word they use to describe the thing that they do not see like them is opposite. Listen to the sound of the word opposite. Oppose it.
Okay.
Hidden in the word opposite is oppose it. So when they see something that is opposite to them, what do? They oppose it. When they see something, they call it an object. What do you do when you object something? You oppose it.
Yeah.
If you look at the way that the system is set up, the original Kemetic system, words and language, was called Medu Necher, which is MDW, Medu, NTR, Necher. Medu, it wasn't called hieroglyphics, that's what the Egyptians called it. It was called Medu Necher. Medu Necher means, virtually in our English mindset, me do the will of the divine or the will of God, and it means your thoughts, actions, and your words are done in the divine will. So that's why the Kemetic system and culture were able to create the artworks and the pyramids and the lifestyles, because they was doing everything in a level of perfection, achieving perfection. Everything was done in perfection. So language and words meant doing divine will, being a representative of God, being a representative of the divine will. That was the nature of Kemet. The people who saw them as opposites opposed it and objected. They came at war with Kemet, and when they took over the language, they called it Coptic. It became Coptic. Coptic, the Greeks defeated the Kemet, the people of Kemet, in 333 BC. Then they called the language Coptic. Cop in Greek means abundance of wealth and knowledge. So the language was not a divinity, not God's will or a divinity. It became money, wealth, and power. That's the nature of the people who saw us as opposite and opposed it. Right. So the whole society that you look at today is based on what? money, wealth, and power. There's nothing to do with a divinity. And if you look at all the entertainment, it's geared towards money, wealth, and power. And that's why the nature of the person in control is giving us that as their entertainment, because there is no divinity in the language and the words that we use today. Thank you.
Wow. And that is Jamas, and you'll have your book called Decoding Language.
Yes, I'll have the book called Decoding Language. At the moment, it's like there's been so much demand for it, so you'll have to place an order. But it'll be coming. I'll be having some sample copies on Saturday at the event which Dougie will read.
Okay, so if anybody wants to get the book, they would have to go through your manager.
Go through the manager.
Your manager will then place the order in the list, and then what actually happens? When someone makes an order, do they have to give the money and the book is given?
There's two ways. They can either contact the manager. It used to be me, but the manager's going to give him his number. They'll text the manager their name and say and give Supreme as the password. Yeah. So they text their name and Supreme, and then they will get a discount.
Can I just say, when I was involved in the music industry as a manager gets 20%.
Oh, I better get you to look over the contract.
You don't want to get. It's funny how Sting gets Sting.
It's all in the name, you know. And you beat me to it. You beat me to it, yeah. But so there's one more thing. There's a thing that I actually missed out, because when I said Kemet was worked off divinity. The Greeks worked off money, power. And what happened is when they got divinity, they reversed what divinity to money and power. So they reversed they reversed the symbols, and they reversed the polarity of the sound. Okay. So that went back to what Doug is saying, the man and the woman relationship. You know, they put us in a situation where the polarities are being reversed, and the woman is now the breadwinner, and the man is about looking good.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's transferring also into the TV, the games, and the murder. But
yeah.
Also, just to add something there about the man and woman, that the main responsibility as a man is to be the provider and the protector. And if you're not feeling responsibility as a man, you feel, some say subconsciously, you feel less as a man. Yeah. And that's what they've done to us, you know. So, but I want to, I just want to mention a little about the event was taking place Saturday, yeah. And the event is called World Reality.
Realities.
Yeah, World Realities. And we look with a frank look at the world we live in today. And we were having the Dogan would be there looking at the whole thing about astrology. And we have a brother called the Right Pastor, and that's his name, the Right Pastor, because when it comes to scriptures, you know, the man just knows it inside out. I think you had him here one time, innit?
Yeah, Pastor Oris Wright has been here twice.
He's been here twice, as I call. You know, and you know, nobody can argue. The man he's on point, you know, and we call him the Right Pastor because you know we'll put different pastor about the place, you know, but that's why we call him the Right Pastor. So he'll be speaking mostly about music, how music affects us, and tones and vibrations and etc. And Jammers, we're speaking about the words, how we use words, how words affect us. And as you know, Jammers is the when it comes to words again, nobody can argue. He's a master.
It's amazing that you touched on music, and music is my area, and you know my area. So he's going to get questioned by me, and I'm glad Brother Michael is here because when we have this lady out there portraying herself as a Lady Gaga.
I've been hearing.
I don't know much about her, but when I see and hear profanity and that, the music industry. When I look on the music, let's break down the music industry. And I hope Pastor Wright is going to break it down. Music industry is based on youngsters' disposable income.
That's right.
It's not based on adults. A lot of people might think it's an adult thing. It's not. What is being sung in the playground is going to be a hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you hear your kids singing some profanity, you know, say 2 weeks later, that's number one.
Yeah.
Because the youth, now
you know what's interesting.
I'm just going to show you how the industry goes. A lot of people will laugh. Bob the Builder. If you get a little kid saying, "Can he fix it?" Yes, he can. Mummy and Daddy's going to buy it.
Yeah.
Got to buy it.
Yeah.
When HMV was around and our price, they would deliberately, subliminally, I can't pronounce that word, play certain records for young people when they're in the shop to say, Mum, gotta have Bob the Builder, gotta have whatever's going on at the time. Because the music industry, if you look at Christmas, Simon Cowell will always control number one now through his game show.
Yeah.
Then you will get someone with a kiddie song come out. The plan is there.
Yeah, but you know, just to ride on that, you know, that a few years.
I'm really feeling passionate about this. Look, with Bob the Builder comes Bob the Builder merchandise.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah.
You watch what happens. You must have Bob the Builder the song, Bob the Builder the game, Bob the Builder. Because why? Because your child is the best.
Yeah. But like I said, it's just marketed towards the babies then. But you see, you know what's interesting? I went to about 8-10 years ago, right? This is invited me to this school. They had like a Christmas do there, right? And had this, in fact, they had a sound system there.
Yeah?
It's amazing. That is man I play music, this brother man play music, right? So teacher me said to him, listen, just play some different kind of music and, you know, some pop music, light music, right? So him said, cha. So he goes to little kids them. The kids are about 5, 6, 7, little kids them. He goes to them, we want here. Them said they want to hear some ragamuffin and dancehall, right? So he goes, you want to hear that? He goes, the kids goes, yeah. So he start drop that, right? And the kids start jump up and dance, right? The teacher goes to him, listen, man, play something more lighter. Yeah. He goes to listen. The teacher want me to play something more lighter. What do you want me here? They say I want to hear some ragamuffin and dancehall, you know, right? So you see what I'm saying?
Well,
and that took me back.
You know something, right? I find it quite embarrassing. I find it quite embarrassing when you see a youngster who's not developed start doing dances that are really connected with the go-go industry, and people are calling that dance hall. That's rubbish. Dance hall has now become the new go-go. In Jamaica, go-go is where they go to learn the latest dance and then call it dancehall. It's foolishness now. And people are saying, me have no dance, got this, that. And they want to do it. Why? Because they want to be with the fashion, which is rubbish. When you really look at what's going on, it's foolishness. If you could break down that word, foolishness.
Absolutely. But just to say that Saturday, the 27th of September, we have some extreme established guests will be there. And I said that Jammers will be one of the speakers there. And what we're saying is that, and also what we're going to put together now, we're going to have some we're gonna, not so many, but I have a few CDs. So people can put some CDs of some Jammers recordings, what he's done over the last few months.
Music, I'll tell you, that's my area. And I've got to say, from a person I just love music. But there are some things that need to be brought out the cupboard. And some things that need to go in the cupboard. Like R. Kelly needs to go back in the cupboard, number one. When music transitioned from live instruments into synthetic instruments, there became a problem. To me, synthetic music is not happening. A lot of us might say, me have a tune and all synthetic sounds. No. That as a vibration is wrong.
But you see, you know, we like, you know, but eventually, right, we like to have a conference or have a big seminar, look at the whole thing about music and the whole thing about Illuminati and look at all that kind of stuff there. Because you see, one young people would say is that, I mean, for you to make money, you know, it's got to become commercial. You got to sell yourself and so on, so on, so. And we could play with that, right? We could play with that, right? But some of us are sell ourselves really down below, and then we look at people like who has to respect people like Kanye West. I really respect that you there.
Once again, Conscious Radio 102 Original Supreme. I'm going to say thanks going out to Al, who just prompted me about the Ashra Quasar. Ashra Quasar is doing a tour, 2014 UK tour, reclaiming the African knowledge to reclaim African self. Ashra Quasar and his wife are lectures on African history, civilization, religion and culture. They present a lively and dynamic slide presentation and production and videos based on the extensive study and travel of African continent. They're startling and revealing information on the origins of many of the concepts and symbols now utilized by the Western world. Is due to be their focus on the African ancient Nile, and that's the same as Brother Jammers, who's breaking down and decoding the word. And last time he came here, he calls the turbulence.
I'm glad the phone line's not working this time around. I had to run for my life. And keep those texts coming, Dougie. I hope you've got enough tickets, because I'm getting a lot of texts.
Text for the studio is 07539 602 999. I'm going to say shouts going out to Ritz, who rang me. I did send you my number. I don't know why you never got it, but we will sort out that information for you. Not working. Okay, I'm going to say thanks to that caller for calling. We've got an intermittent fault on one of the machines, so I think I'll give that a miss.
I just want to ask Jammers to break down the word belief, because as you know, in the middle of the word belief, there's a word called lie. So I want Jammers to go into all of that, because, yeah.
Boy, Dougie, you're really starting to be like Alex Ferguson now. I'm not going to have nothing left to speak about on Saturday. All right, as I said, the key to understanding from another perspective.
Yeah.
And once again, I've got to big up Concious. I forgot. Big up the Concious community, keeping the airwaves conscious. Greetings, caller. Greetings.
Greetings, how you doing?
Yes, Mandingo. Yes, I've been listening, but I just want listeners to know that one of our great singers in the 60s, who was based in London, Peter Simon, that he passed away on Saturday the 20th of September in Islington, St. Mary, Jamaica.
And that proves the point that it's very important for us to organize.
As Marcus Garvey said, the greatest enemy of the African is disorganization.
That's right.
He said that in the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey. The greatest enemy of the African is disorganization. So it shows that with organization, we were able to stop this racist exhibition at the Barbican last night.
Okay, Mandingo, we have some time challenges. I'm going to say thank you very much for calling in. We're trying to.
If I am not there, I'll always phone in, because we're doing the same work.
Yeah.
African liberation and redemption, and I hope that the visit of Ashra and Mira Cressy, the husband and wife team, that it will be most successful.
Okay.
Give thanks.
All right, Mandingo, give thanks for the reason, and give us up to date. So give thanks to Mandingo.
Okay, and one love to you, Brother Dougie, and to you, Brother Supreme. One God, one aim, one destiny.
Okay then. So Supreme, we're live and
yeah. We're going to try and link up Ashra Kwesi now. So thanks, Mandingo. Yeah, bless.
Okay, I listen. Okay. Take care.
So we're going to have a connect. Is he in line there? Yeah. We're going to try it. Okay then. Okay then. So we've tuned into the More Knowledge Show, and I understand we're going to have Brother
I don't know if Brother Kwesi, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but it sounds like a lot of noise, and sound like you're a little distant.
Okay, I may have to bring the phone to me because of the way the setup is. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it still seems like you're far away, but I can at least hear you, though.
I'll tell you what, from this side, we can hear you loud and clear, Brother Ashra Kwesi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I'm glad we contacted each other. I thought I was trying to call Mars.
I don't know. Every time we try and hook up with you, we always have some challenges. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But we're looking forward to yourself arriving in the UK to do your tour. Can you give the listeners a touch of what the tour is going to be about when you come this time?
Well, again, it's always an honor to come back and lecture in the African Community in Manchester, Leeds, Luton, Birmingham, London, and Kobe, I think that's the name of the place. And we'll be lecturing in Manchester on Saturday the 4th on the ancient Kushite Nile Valley origin of civilization. That's the lecture I'll be doing. And Mary will be doing Ethiopia and Pan-Africanism, occupied but never colonized. And so that'll be at Manchester at 6 p.m., and we'll also be doing a series of lectures. So this is a continuation. It's always an honor to come back to lecture for the Pan-African Congress. And I think this is your Black History Month as well. Is that right?
Well, when you arrive, it will be Black History. Not in Black History Month right now, but, you know, it will be when you arrive, okay. It will be. Yeah.
It'll be. Well, that's good, because we have to keep it 365 days out of the year plus.
Yeah.
And this involves over 3 decades, or 34 years to be exact, of doing research in Africa, and specifically the African Nile Valley. And there we'll be coming with visual documentation to validate the origins of civilization and talk about our story. We need to have a historical consciousness. When we look at other ethnic groups and other people around the world, they're very well aware of their historical consciousness, of who they are as a people. They can name places. They can name historical events and monuments and so forth dedicated to their ancestors. But when it comes to us, we seem to be outside the African continent. We know more about a European history or an Asian history, but when it comes to Africa, we know very little about Africa, even though Africa got the oldest civilization and the greatest monuments still to this day on the planet Earth. So, again, we're coming with visual documentation for people to think about who we are as an African people and to open up, as we refer to as an African ancestral genetic library. This information is going to deal with the fact that when we look at ancient Kemet, it's called Egypt today, the civilization came up out of the interior of Africa. That's the root of the civilization. It's not coming from Mesopotamia, okay? It's not coming from Europe. It's not coming from somewhere outside of Africa. We know that the whole European psychopathic racism has done everything to try to deny the African civilization and who African people are. I mean, even to the point of even talking about extraterrestrials had a lot to do with building the greatest monuments on the planet Earth, such as the pyramids and other great structures. But yet, when it comes to other structures of Europeans, they would never say that aliens or somebody else built it. So again, this information is going to be documented thoroughly through visual documentation from our own field research, and dealing with the whole history and struggle that Mary Ra is going to deal with in her presentation on Pan-Africanism, and showing how and what we did on a global level, how we came together in unity to save Africa, to save Ethiopia from colonization from the Italians. So when we look at that time period that she's going to deal with, and how the Ethiopianism and how we came together, this is something that we should always have, even to this day. We should keep that part of our historical consciousness to show that umoja, or that unity, that how we pulled ourselves together. When we look at Africans, not only in America, but Africans in England, all came together in this Pan-African struggle to save Ethiopia from the Italians who were invading at that time. That'll be her portion of the lecture. Unfortunately, she's not here to talk about it.
Okay.
So I'm just giving a brief background on what she's going to be talking about.
Okay, because we've got a studio full of people, and I'm hoping they've got some questions to ask you, because we've got some time. We've got some time challenges here. We was trying to hook you up earlier, but there's a few technical issues.
Yeah. I was trying to contact you to Skype, but
yeah,
but we made contact. That's what's important.
Brother Asher Kwesi, I can ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, what books would you recommend for those who start a journey in terms of rediscover themselves in terms of African history? What books you recommend as part of the journey?
Well, of course, the foundation for us to stand on, we always have to take African, some who are ancestors and some who are elders with us today. One of the elders who's with us today, and that's Dr. Yosef Benyakinen, that we affectionately know as Dr. Ben.
Right.
Black Man of the Nile is critical. It's critical work that we've got to study, that everyone should have that book. Okay, Black Man of the Nile. peace be upon him, Dr. Chancellor Williams. The destruction of black civilization is a must, to stand on. And also African Origin of Civilization, by Dr. Cheikh Diop. Right. These are critical works that we have to start with. Mm-hmm. And Lil Hansberry, who his great works in dealing with African history, specifically dealing with Ethiopia that he wrote, his history, his great works on the pillars of Ethiopian history and other works. Mm-hmm. So these are some of the foundation that I'd look at for us to stand on to start our research. Mm-hmm. Many years ago, back in about 1971, those are especially Black Man of the Nile and the Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. These were the two major books that made a major impact on myself. And speaking specifically with myself, I never knew at that time, after reading and researching these books, that I would spend 34 years researching and traveling in the very place that I read about, and conducting now educational tours and spending 14 years with the Grandmaster Teacher, Dr. Yusuf Yakinen. So this is the impact once you open up.
But this
and using myself as a perfect example.
But this leads on to my question now, because the question is now, right? Is there any young bloods, young coming through and holding on to the arm? I mean, people like yourself, no, you won't be around forever, of course. But is there any young coming through, young bloods coming through to hold on to the to carry the work, so to speak? You can say. Well,
there's many young brothers out there that are doing the work, who are dissemination of information. And I can only say that that spirit has to be in them to continue that work. Mm. Now, of course, we come through different time periods, and there's some things that are going on today that I don't understand, that could be a generation gap and so forth, but in that process, there are some young brothers out there, dissemination of the work, who are out there, talking about our story. But it's a drive and a spirit, For instance, if I use myself again as an example, Dr. Ben did not take me by the hand. Mm-hmm. That spirit, had to be in me to continue to do the work. So when he saw that I was serious about doing the work, that's how he took me under his wing, mm-hmm. All right, and the commitment, in educating our people. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by there's some things that are going on today, I feel that there's so much information out here about who we are as an African people, and that we shouldn't have bring stuff into our language, that has a mental block on dissemination of the information.
Right. Right.
I'm not one that's going to be calling MFs and Ns and all that stuff. That's just a mental block as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm.
Okay, right? I'm just going to say
bringing us to a higher ascension, a higher level, of communication. But again, at the same time, there are some brothers out there who are warriors in the street, and that's the language that can reach some of the brothers in the street, though. Mm. And it may take them to another awakening or another level. Even though, as for myself, I'm out of a generation that, I was under the Grandmaster teachers, and the information, how they disseminated the information, was strictly about business. And that business was about telling our story and not getting it disrupted by pop culture.
Okay, brother.
I hope I had clarity on that.
Yeah, can you still hear us clearly?
I don't. You sound like you're in a distance, but I can hear you though.
Okay, because we've got about 2 minutes left of the show.
2 minutes left. Right.
And I'm just letting our listeners. Yeah, I'm just letting our listeners know that we've got Ashwa Kwesi on the line, and you will be here in London on October the 4th. Oh, sorry, the 11th. Yeah, with your wife. Your wife is going to be breaking down. Sorry, I'm just getting the information in front of me. Is it Sisters in the Struggle?
Okay, in Manchester, she'll be dealing with Ethiopia and Pan-Africanism, occupied but never colonized. And Leeds, She'll be doing Sisters in the Struggle, a tribute to black women liberators. And then I will be doing African History and Spirituality, the Origin of the Bible and the Quran. And Luton, I'll be doing African Origin of Christianity, the Cultural Destruction of African, she'll be doing, I'll be doing the African Origin of Christianity, and she'll be doing the Cultural Destruction of African Fashion. And then in Birmingham, I'll be doing the Ancient Kushites, the Nile Valley Origin of Civilization, and she'll be doing Ethiopia and Pan-Africanism, occupied but never colonized. London, I'll be doing African History and Spirituality, the Origin of the Bible and the Quran. She'll be doing Sisters in the Struggle, a tribute to black women liberators. And what's it called, Wokaby?
High Wycombe, we call it.
High Wycombe, okay. I'll be doing the African Builders of Civilization, and she'll be doing the Cultural Destruction of African Fashion. So it's going to be a great time. We've got a lot of information and visual documentation, and definitely to inspire, to motivate. And it's through presentations like this that we inspire young people, okay, not only to see the information, but to bring out a lot of information that's lying dormant in them, okay? And this is what we have to do. And like you said before, we need younger brothers and sisters to come forward and keep it moving, okay, to keep the African Community going, and for next generation and next generation, and on and on and on. Okay, so this is what it's all about. I was a young man at one time in my early 20s, and like I said before, never knowing that it would be a long journey such as this. But, we have to be serious. We have to commit. When we take this journey, you commit your life to it. It's not going to be a hobby. You have to commit your life to it for it to be, for everything to come to pass.
Okay, Brother Kwesi, we've run out of time on my show, and I'm hoping that when you arrive in London and the UK, you'll be able to pass through on the radio station and have this interview live.
Good. Hopefully we can
time
have that
permits,
time, because we've been having difficulty trying to contact via phone or Skype in the States here.
Okay, so on that point, I'm going to say thank you very much for calling in or spreading the message, but we really look forward to you coming here next week.
Exactly. Looking forward to being there myself, my brother.
Okay, stay blessed.
Likewise.
Okay, thanks. I know someone else is ringing on the other phone, but my time has run out. I'm going to say thank you. Remember, it's Saturday the 11th. October the 11th, African History and Spirituality and Origins of the Bible and the Quran, Sisters in the Struggle, and tribute to black women liberators. And that's at the Platinus College, Clapham Road, SW9OAL. Okay, and on that point, after the break, we have the musical ambassador who's here in the studio. So